How are you? Wait, you're also from LA, right? You're in LA.
Yeah, I'm in LA.
That's cool. I'm in
I'm
Long
in
Beach.
North Hollywood.
I'm east of Long Beach, more like towards Cerritos.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't.
close to you right now. I'm actually in Manhattan Beach.
You are? Well,
It's
it's still kind of far, but
a little bit.
a little
It's
bit.
closer than North Hollywood.
That's true. That's true. Well, I went on a one of my clients had a photo shoot in Burbank last week, so I stayed 3 nights in Burbank because I was kind of tired of commuting from Burbank to east of Long Beach. It took me like what I think 2 hours on Friday to get home. I was like, thank God they paid for the hotel because I was not up for like doing this each way like for 3 days. So that was like really cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's a long commute.
Yeah, that took forever. What are you doing in Manhattan Beach? Shooting?
Yeah, I'm filming. I'm filming a segment for the documentary. So I'm directing a documentary for NBC,
Oh, nice.
and we're filming segments here and there. But we're actually flying to Orlando in October 7th through the 10th. And then we're flying back to do the rest of the documentary. But it's a 5 series documentary that's going to air on Thanksgiving for NBC, yeah.
Oh wow! But you can't share more, right? Probably not.
No, I could. It's a documentary about arm wrestling.
Arm wrestling? That's okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Wait.
They're going to bring back arm wrestling, and there's actually a competition that's happening in October. That's why we need to fly to Florida because the competition is happening over there. And then we're going to film that to tie it in with the documentary. So the documentary is basically telling people how boxing is a lot similar to arm wrestling. So they're going to tie that in together. You know, and at the end of it, we're going to have like special guest appearance from a lot of celebrities, and they're going to talk about arm wrestling.
Okay. Wait. So wait. How did you end up getting that gig? Are you like an arm wrestler yourself?
No, I'm not. Well, I mean, I arm wrestle, you know, from time to time. Whenever you have like friends over, you like tell them like, I don't know if this happens to you, but it's like, oh, you want to arm wrestle for that soda, something like that. You know, I mean, my whole life is, oh, you want to arm wrestle for this, you want to arm wrestle for that. So, but I'm not a professional arm wrestler. But I mean, everybody, like mostly every guy knows how to arm wrestler. You know.
Yeah.
But going back to your question, is how I got this gig. Is,
Yeah.
well, it's been a long journey. I'm a photographer. I started out as a photographer. I've been a photographer for over 10 years, and then I transitioned into film. And then transitioning into film brought me to a lot of great connection. So I started out shooting commercials, products, and then music video, and then short films. And then I got connected with a bunch of producers, a lot of people in the industry. So basically, the person that liked my work saw that I recently won an award for one of my commercials that I directed, and she told me if she can get me for the NBC, she can get me as a director for the NBC docu series that they're doing. So I went for it. It's a good gig. So right now we're kind of in the middle of it, and we're filming the rest throughout the month. So that's pretty much I got it through connections.
What was the commercial and what award did she get? I'm so curious right now.
Oh, okay. So one of my commercials, I shot a corporate commercial for a corporate company, and I didn't even know they were gonna submit it for an award because I never done that. I never submit my work to get an award or submissions for contests, right? I never do that. So one of my clients said, "Hey, you did an awesome job with your commercial." And then after a couple months, she called me back and she goes, "Hey, just to let you know, you won 3 awards for the commercial that you filmed for us." And I go, "Oh, okay. Did you submit it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I submitted it to a competition and it won a telly." I don't know if you know what a telly is, but a telly is basically an Emmy for corporate commercials. And so she told me, yeah, it won directing, it won best picture, and it also won best editing. So I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't know. I mean, thank you. And then finally, like, my buddies told me to put in my resume, and I'm like, really, put that on my resume? And like, yeah, they said, yeah, you need to, because Telly is award industry, but I didn't know what Telly was. So I go, okay, you know what? If it's well known, then I'll put it in. So that's why I have an award-winning thing on my bio.
I love that. So did you think that opened more doors for you after that one commercial that won the telly?
Yeah, I mean, it. I don't know. I don't know if it did or it did not, because I'm an extrovert and I talk to everybody, and I talk to whoever I meet, and I create relationships throughout my journey. And I think the relationships are the things, one of the things that are getting me the gigs, not necessarily the award, but who I am as a person. Because a lot of people that I have as a client, they love working with me as a person, and having that artistic perspective is just an icing on the cake. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like your secret sauce.
Yeah.
Your personality. Yeah. No, totally agree. Nice. So what made you transition from like photography to video? And do you still do photography, or you like?
I do.
Yeah.
I do photography still. I love photography. I mean, photography is always going to be near and dear in my heart. Every time I do photography is basically out of a concept that I thought of, right? But as far as me still doing it now, I mean, rarely, because I am so swamped with, projects here and there, that I can't find the time to photography project. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There are a couple of times where a publicist hit me up because I used to shoot editorial photos for magazines. So I used to work with a lot of celebrities. So a lot of publicists love the way I like my photography, the way I shoot them, and the way I interact and all that stuff. And they still hit me up from time to time because they go, oh, I have a client. I would love you to shoot this person. And usually, if I do have an extra time, I'll say, okay, I'll go ahead and set up 2 or 3 hours to do this shoot at the studio. And then, yeah, I get those once in a while, but mostly I'm focusing on film because my ultimate goal right now is to win an Oscar, and that's what I'm aiming for.
So, okay, wait, I need to unwrap this. This is so dope. Okay, so what do you do in order to be able to get that Oscar? Like, what are some, like, no, I mean, like, right? Like, we all have, like, 5-year, 3-year goals, but, like, what are some, like, accomplishable goals that you set yourself that you want to, like, hit, milestones that you want to hit in order to, like, make, like, a big production that's probably going to get an Oscar?
Okay, so my goal to win an Oscar by 2023.
Okay, so 2 years. What was 1 year, basically? I mean, this year's over. Kind of.
Pretty much. I want to do this by directing a full-length motion picture by next year. So my goal is pretty tight, and that's a goal for me. And I push myself because nobody else will push me.
Yes.
I wanna give myself that goal so I can achieve it sooner than later. I don't want to say, 5 years I'll win an Oscar. Why? Why am I gonna wait that long?
Oh, I love this so much. Yes. Okay, cool. Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna wait that long. Especially I'm a go-getter. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and wait 5 years so that I can get that. Oh, no way. I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what? I want to get that Oscar as soon as I can. So my whole goal right now is to find a freaking good script.
Yeah.
And do a movie by next year, and then accomplish that no matter what it is, no matter if I have to fund it, no matter if I have to go to door to get funds, I'm going to make that movie. And nothing will stop me. So my whole goal right now is to prepare myself before the year ends. So by the time next year, 2022 comes, I'm already set and ready. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So what are you doing to find good scripts? Like how do you like do people like reach out to you or like do you have like a network of like script writers or like how do you find the perfect script or like what do you do right now?
Well, first I gotta identify what kind of scripts I like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like what do you want to produce? Like a drama or like an action movie or like
kind of guy. No, I can't see myself filming action or filming comedy because that's not me.
Okay.
I'm more emotion based.
Okay.
I mean, you can by my photos. My photos are strictly emotion based. That's why I got into directing because I love extracting emotions from people. And I can tell you right now, every single photo that I have, that I've taken, I can pinpoint the conversations that we had on that specific photo because I have a specific way to extract those emotions out of people, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I love is emotion. I'm emotionally driven. I don't know. I'm a happy guy, but I just love, I don't know. I don't know that man.
No, this is good. But again, right? I mean, now you have to find like what it is you want to film, but like how do you find the script still? Like, I mean, right? It's gonna be like, you probably have to like knock on a lot of doors and meet like a lot of people for like the script to like get to come to you, right?
Yeah. Regarding the scripts, I have a lot of writer friends.
Okay,
right?
good.
And I know, like, it goes back to your journey, it goes back to who you meet in life and who you encounter. You kind of like have to like filter out the people that you meet. I mean, some people will not make a difference in your life, and those are the people that you really don't have interactions with, and some people you get really connected to the point where, oh my God, I see a bond with us until the end of time, and then we will be doing this until the end of time, and it just depends on who you meet. And I've encountered a lot of people that have absolutely freaking awesome writing skills, and yeah, I kept in touch with them because we have a mutual gift. They can write, I can direct, and that's something that can really work well together, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a couple of people that can ultimately write me a script for a movie.
Nice, that's cool. I love that you said the journey, and would love to hear like more like how did you decide to go like the path now you're on? Like where did you grow up? Like what's like some like stuff you learned like in your childhood that now you're like, oh yeah, this now all makes sense. This was like meant for me. That like now you're here, and like how did you get here?
Oof, that's a long.
You take as long as you want. I mean, like.
But okay, basically, I didn't plan to be a photographer. I didn't plan to be a creative. Creative kind of just fell on my lap when I was kind of cornered to what I was gonna do in life. Basically, I grew up like the whole entire life that I had prior to photography was retail. I used to work in Best Buy and like other moms and pops stores out there, but Best Buy was like the last job that I had before I kind of transitioned into photography. So when I was in Best Buy, I didn't plan to be a photographer. I mean, that was like not even on my mind, not even on my radar. But you know what? Looking back, a lot of times when we would have family events or special gathering, right? I'm the only guy that all my uncles and my aunts would ask to take a picture. Can you take a picture? Can you take a picture of us? Can you take a picture? Can you take a picture? It's like I didn't realize it until like I had to look back and see how my life was. But yeah, I was the go-to family photographer with a point-and-shoot camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't realize it until like when I got fired from Best Buy. I told myself I'm not going to work for another corporation again. I said I'm going to start my own business. So I started my own business doing websites for companies, for like small companies, mom and pops. So I use my skills that I learned in Best Buy to get those kind of clients. So one day, one of my clients says, "Hey, Isaac, can you start taking photos of our products?" And I said, "Yeah, you know what?" And then when I quit Best Buy, I remembered I purchased a camera when I quit so I can get the discount. But when I got it, I kind of shelved it for like about a year, and I didn't use it. So it was sitting in my closet for like a good year. So when my client asked me that, "Oh, can you start taking pictures?" I go, "Oh, I have a camera in my closet. Let me grab that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of the product." So from there, I kind of got hooked because I started learning how to use my camera from YouTube University, and then from there, I kind of grew to like, hey, I can do this. I love taking photos. I love creating this. And then I just started learning what I need to do, how do I light, how do I do this, how do I do that, and then it just evolved. I mean, until now, I'm still evolving as an artist. I'm still learning new things, but yeah, it started out from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I love that you said YouTube anniversary. That had me laughing. It's very true, though. It's very true. And when you look back on your happiness level back then and now, and also compared to how many hours you work back and now, would you change anything about it? Because I'm pretty sure I know the answer.
No, I'm not going to change anything because whatever I learned from the struggles, from the failures, from the happy moments, it made me who I am now. So going back to that question, am I going to change anything? No.
No,
because
yeah.
I love where I am right now, and whatever I went through those times made me who I am now, which it might change if I change something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. What were some highlights of your career so far, and what were some lowlights where you're like, what the heck am I going to do now?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. The lowlights of my career, I don't know. I think the first year was pretty tough because when I started my own business, right, there's no clients. There's no paying gigs.
Yeah.
Basically, you cough up more than earn more, Not until I started learning that I can never, somebody told me one time, some older guy who had a lot of money, and he goes, "Isaac, it's not about the money." And I didn't get that at that moment, but he told me a specific thing. He said, "If you live your life chasing money, you will never catch it. Live your life chasing your dreams, and money will come." So, at that moment, I was like, how can you not chase money?
Yeah.
Because you have money to kind of support yourself,
Yeah.
And but as soon as I go through that journey from photography to film, right, I started seeing what he meant. Because when we constantly have, money in our minds, our creativity or who we are is not going to be there. And what gravitates people of hiring us is they want to hire somebody that knows who they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And enable for me to know who I am, I need to let go. And I need to just keep on doing my craft or keep on doing whatever I'm aiming to do. And yeah, money will come in. But not until I give all that up and say, let me focus on what I need to do as far as career and creativity and passion and all that stuff goes. So yeah, that's the long message or the insightful message that I ever got that took me a long time to learn. Yeah.
That's very true. And I love that she said you have to work for, because I think, and I honestly always say that I feel like all the people that I was following on Instagram before I started my own business, it was a lot of sweet talking. They really didn't or maybe I was just honestly at this point I think I was just following also the wrong people. There wasn't really a lot of behind the scenes the long hours you have to put in it that submitting taxes and all this like bullshit that comes with like running a business, everybody was like, oh, you're your own boss. Everything's like golden, everything's shiny. Like, heck no, you know, like, so now you saying like, oh, you have to work a certain time in order to be established and then to make your money. Like, I feel like that is going to resonate with like a lot of people, because I remember looking back when I started out and like knowing what I charge now and knowing what I charged back then. I'm like embarrassed to know that I charged that. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. But like, what were some like absolute highlights where you're like, oh shit, like this was like my best day ever?
I can't pinpoint because every day is a good day, you know? I mean, I live my
Oh,
life
I love that
every
attitude.
day where I wake up and I focus on that day. I don't look in the future. I don't look on tomorrow, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen next week. I can plan for it. And then that's another thing. When you plan for something, it might not happen. You might have to pivot, you know, and you have to be prepared to pivot. And a lot of times when a person plans for something, they tend to expect that that's going to happen. And that's the key, is to not expect. Because once you start expecting and it doesn't happen, there will come disappointments.
Oh yes. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah.
Disappointments like bring us down, especially if we're an artist. It brings us down really bad, you know, to the point where sometimes, like, when something brings me down, I don't want to work. I don't want to, like, you know, touch my computer or touch my camera for a couple of days, you know.
Yeah.
And that holds us back. And what I've learned is not to expect. I can plan, but not to expect. So basically, I live my day by day and hour by hour, and whatever comes in, comes in. As long as I have a plan and I can look at that plan as a map, then I can follow that map. And I'm okay with pivoting, you know?
Yeah.
If I need to pivot, I pivot, but there's no expectations.
Yeah.
So that would, there's no disappointment, you know?
Yeah. How far, like, how much out in advance do you like plan your like work schedule? Just like a few days, weeks, or months? Like, how do you manage that?
I mean, it depends. I mean, some clients would want me to plan a month in advance. Some clients would want me to plan a year in advance, you know? And I don't really like look at those because a year is too long. Anything can happen in a year.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I can plan on a week by week basis, you know? But I kind of have like a degree to my planning. And if like a client wants me to do a job like in like a year, right? I would say unlikely because a year is too long, right? If it's one, okay, maybe it's possible, maybe like it could happen, you know? But if it's a week, okay, that's doable, you know? But it really depends on who I interact with or who's doing the planning, right? But there's another side of the planning. You have the client side and you have your plans, right? My plans is like, it's there. I plan, like for example, I plan to be a film director and I plan to win that Oscar and I plan to get that and do this, right? My plan is there. Now, the thing that's going to help me get to my plan is determination.
Yeah.
Now, do I have the determination to get there? I have to keep that determination in me because if I don't, then that plan is not going to come. You know, I can plan all day long, but if I don't have that determination, then that plan is useless. Might as well not plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But determination is key. I have to have determination and perseverance because if I lose those, then what's the point? What's the point? You know?
Yeah, it's very true.
So that's kind of like the way I plan things. Is I kind of plan things based on how long they are and who they're planning it with me or what the plan is, and then I kind of give it like a mental note of, okay, either that's gonna happen or that's not gonna happen. You know, I need to be realistic. But you know, sometimes we pivot. You know, and you do a great job at it.
That's true. How many hours do you like work a week, and like do you think that's like a healthy amount, or like what are some things you do to like decompress outside of work. Because like I noticed, I mean, I've been doing this for a little bit over a year, and I love to work, but I noticed that it has this massive impact on like my private. I literally like even work on weekends, and I know I shouldn't because I just have a problem with setting boundaries for myself. I'm just really bad at that, and I like totally own that. But that's definitely something for like 2022 that I want to get better at, to not work at like on Saturday and Sunday. But like, how do you manage that?
Yeah, that's a difficult plan, because I remember when I would work the weekends, right? And I really didn't have a sense of like trying to manage my schedule properly. But now I'm pretty great at it, because I gotta accept that I'm the business owner and I have control. So the way things work is, I see it as being the driver, right? If you're a driver of your car and your clients are your passenger, right? Would you allow your clients to grab the wheel and steer it for you? No, because you're gonna get into a freaking crash. You know, that's the same thing with scheduling and managing your time. Would you let your clients dictate when you're gonna do it? No, because you're the owner of your company. You have to set boundaries. You have to set, reasonable timelines to when you can deliver and when you can do it. And going back to that driving thing, is that you are the driver of your business. It's up to you. Whenever you feel like you want to stop, whenever you feel like you want to get gas, you feel like you want to turn right or left, and all that stuff. And it took a long time for me to learn that. And right now, I'm managing my day-to-day pretty damn good. Yeah, I don't work the weekends, but yes, sometimes when I have to, I have to.
Yeah.
And I have to make a call based on how important the client is, or how important the job is, and whether or not, if I could, push this back to a weekday or not. Sometimes I have to work with other people's availabilities, but most of the time I keep Saturday and Sunday off limits so that I can relax and unwind.
Nice. I love that. That's good. That's good for you that you like, yeah, that's where I want to like go. But again, it's just this like boundary issue that I have. So I'm working on it. So hopefully I'll be there soon too. And I would love to hear how you generated, or what did you do to get the press that you have? Because I was checking out your website and your portfolio and everything, and you have a whole press section on your website, which I was pretty impressed with. And I have a lot of like similar entrepreneur friends that are kind of like similar, well, beginner stages of their business. And
Yeah.
I think, right, I mean, that press isn't really something that I, in my stage, I'm like thinking about, but eventually, hopefully. So I would just love to hear like some advice you can share around that, or like, how did you get that? How did you like get into publications? Did you know people? Did you pitch yourself to them, or did they come to you? Like, how did they find you? Stuff like that.
So press is really tricky, right?
Yeah.
And there's like tricks and trades on how you can get published, right? Basically, what you do is, okay, I'm just gonna like really break this down really good for you. Okay?
Yes, please.
So the way I do press is, first of all, I don't think about press when I'm trying to do a project, right?
Yeah.
You gotta have a nice project to be press worthy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when you have a press-worthy press, right, or a personal project that are press-worthy, then you can go ahead and try to accomplish that project first. Once you accomplish that project, then you reach out to the press that suits your projects, right? For example, I did a series called Reflection of Me, where I took a bunch of dog owners' body and I put their dog's head in their body. And that came out great. And then that brought in a lot of press.
Wow.
So when I did that, what I did is I posted it on my social media, right, as a teaser. But you don't post it up all the way through, like you're showing every single thing that you've done in that project. You want to hold something back to where you're giving press the ammunition to kind of publish it for you, you know? So what I did is when I did a teaser, I reached out to a couple of online presses that fits with my project. So I'm a photographer, and the online press that fits with me are F-Stoppers and Petapixel, right? So I wrote a nice email saying this project, I did this project because, I feel like pit bulls are always criticized and always, judged every time I walk my pit bulls and all that stuff. So I wanted to create this project because I feel like all the dogs have a personality of their owners because it's your dog,
Yeah.
They gravitate off the owner's personality. So I said, every dog is a reflection of their owner. So this is why I created this project. So I put that in the body of email, and I emailed it to the two publications, which is the F-Stopper and the Petapixel. And I told them, look, I would love for you to publish this because this is a great way to, spread that not all pit bulls are bad and not all dogs are bad. It's based on the owner. And I gave them reasonable cause and all that stuff. And they said, we'll go ahead and publish it because they saw the work. They said, oh, this is absolutely unique and awesome. So when they published it, everything just kind of trickled down the internet. If it's a good publication, then a lot of people will gravitate to it and say, let me publish that myself, So that's what literally happened. When they published it, a lot of publication from like different states, different countries, and everybody, everybody in like social media kind of like just like spread it out and said, hey, this is a really good project. So I started getting emails from like, Italy, UK, France, and like all these countries that wanted to publish an article for this project. So that's basically what I did. And that's the format that I use for every single project that I do. And it works. You reach out to a couple that kind of fits to that project, and it kind of spreads out like wildfire,
Yeah. I mean, you make it sound so easy. It's not that easy, but I understand the concept.
It is. It's easy. You got this. Oh my goodness.
And I love that you have pit bulls. I have a very intimidating dog too. She's tiny and she's a corgi, but not really. So yeah. So cool.
Puppies are cute.
Yeah, but she's not very intimidating. So okay. And what is some like advice you how many years have you been doing your own thing now? I don't think I've asked you that.
So I've been a photographer since 2008.
Okay, so quite a while. Okay.
I started in 2008, and then after about I think I would say 2 or 3 years ago, I started transitioning into film.
Okay, after you graduated from YouTube University.
I'm not counting it's like 2020 is a bliss. So
Yeah.
I would say,
Yeah.
I would say 4 to 5 years ago, counting 2020, I started transitioning into film.
Nice. What's like some advice you would give anybody that's like interested in doing their own thing but scared of like making the move? Like, what's some advice you can share?
I would say put aside the fear, because the fear it's something that will block you from moving forward, and learn to kind of overcome the fear to the point where, fear is always going to be there, to the point where it's silence, right? Thing is that once you learn how to kind of silence the fear, there's like, sky's the limits, and like you can do anything you want or you put your heart into, right? Because you have to always ask yourself when you're going to do something, right? What's the worst that's going to happen? Right? Mm-hmm. For example, reaching out to this client. what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Yeah,
right?
they're gonna say no, and that's
I
about
don't-
it. Or they're not gonna like respond. You know, it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, the worst that's gonna happen is they're gonna say no to me, or they're not gonna respond to my email. Am I gonna die? No. Am I gonna like just get a disease? No. You know. So
Yeah.
what's the worst that can happen? Like doing a project. What's the worst that can happen? It won't go viral. It won't get noticed. No. So just do it. So set aside those fear and kind of silence it, and just do whatever it is that's in your heart that you feel that is right and what you want to do.
I love that. But also, I have to say, like, you've been doing this for a while. I think doing this a while, you just get like, you get more confident and you like learn how to like deal with rejection. When I started out and I was pitching myself and I got no's left and right, I was like, oh shit, that's it. Like, I took all of this so personal. At this point, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, and we don't work together. It's also okay, you know. So,
Oh yeah.
but I think it just comes with time and like knowing how to like let those things like, I mean, right, this is just like a business thing. It just that wouldn't mean that they reject me as a person. They just rejected that they don't want my service right now, which is fine, you know. So but that's just it took me a while to learn, and I'm still learning. So
One person told me in retail, when I was in retail, right, when I was starting off, he goes, Isaac, if you're reaching out to somebody and the answer is no, then you're not reaching out to the right person. And he said that because there's like different avenues on how you can get that accomplished or reach out to somebody. You never know who you're reaching out to. Like, for example, if you're trying to close down a client or a deal and you're doing cold calls, you're reaching out to this person on Instagram, and next thing you know, it's probably just a social media. You're not really reaching out to the right person, you know? So never give up. If you're reaching out to close a deal, always try to find out who the right person is to kind of decide for that deal, and persevere and just keep on going.
I
Does
love
that make
that.
sense?
Yeah, totally. No, I 100% agree. That's so cool. And I would love to open this up for any questions. If anybody in the audience has any questions for Isaac or myself, like come on up here and don't be shy. And
You know what I should have told you at the beginning?
what?
I told you to make me a mod, because that's when people
Oh,
start
yeah,
thinking
wait.
I'm a mod.
Wait, but how are you not a moderator? Wait, how can I make you one? Here, make a moderator. Here we go.
You push my face, yeah.
Yeah, okay, now you're one.
We got Patrick there. What's up, Patrick? What's going on?
Oh, you guys know. Oh, yeah, follow my speakers. You know him. Wait, there's a person that wants to come up here. Give me a second. Okay, cool. So your shoot in Manhattan Beach, is that you're done for the day, or that still goes? Oh, that person left. Okay. I think this
still
was
going. I have a few more shots and then I'm done. I should beat traffic by the time I'm done here.
and that's gonna take you 2 hours to get home.
Pretty much.
Well, no, it's not that far. You're already like north of like, yeah, no. I mean, I thought you were further south, but no. Okay, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Okay, well.
Patrick, come up here or what?
Okay, I'm gonna invite him as a speaker. Here we go. Wait, it didn't work.
Back.
Oh, it worked.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, Isaac, good to hear your voice. Dropping some wisdom. I love it all.
I know.
Yeah.
Good here, bro.
Damn, man. Yeah, I mean, I always have questions for you, Isaac. Let's see. What do you, what's been a win in the past couple months? Like, what are you excited about? What are you stoked on right now?
Oh my gosh, closing these 2 documentaries that I just closed for the next coming month. So I closed this NBC. I'm directing a documentary for NBC, and it's basically about arm wrestling, right? And we're in the middle of finalizing the project. But after this one, we're doing another documentary for a rock star. And then we're going to be in Vegas, and we're actually interviewing a bunch of rock stars to make a documentary about how it changed throughout the years. And this one is going to be in true. Oh, Discovery Channel. And then after that, this NBC documentary wants to do another series about Manny Pacquiao. So I'm really excited, man. And then after this 3 documentaries, I'm probably gonna like jump into, film.
Dude, so I mean, I have a question personally for you. I think you're the perfect person to ask. Like I'm a stills photographer. I was a graphic designer before that. I moved in, into doing stills, portraits, lifestyle, mainly lifestyle commercial. I've been apprehensive about video.
Yeah, it's intimidating. It's intimidating, right?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm intimidated behind it. I mean, what advice would you give to photographers like a little bit reluctant to dip their toe into video? I feel like you're doing it really well.
Yeah, it's okay. Remember I told you guys about fear, right? Like you gotta let go of that fear because fear is gonna hold you back. But why don't you start trying? What camera do you have?
I have R5s.
Oh,
and R5.
Dude, you have a perfect camera to film.
I have no excuses, man. Okay, I have everything I need.
This is how it started. Okay, the way I started is when I would do my shoots, when I would do my portraits, right? I would try to put together some behind the scenes with videos. So what I would do is I would get maybe 10 seconds of, moving shots to the left, moving shots to the right. And I did that with handheld. And I kind of like dabbled with Premiere to put that together in a nice consecutive, maybe 1 minute segment. And then from there, you have to just get your feet wet. If it turns out bad, who cares? You're the only one that's going to see it. But that's the way you're going to learn. And I would highly recommend you kind of dive into that video world because I kid you not, my payload was tripled when I moved into video. I mean, as a photographer, you're capped at like what, $1,500 to $2,000 doing portraits, right? But when you're in video, you have a budget of $10,000 to $15,000 when you do like a mini commercial for companies, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I definitely have been the victim of being the redheaded stepchild photographer on set, because video is a lot more sexy these days. So like, we also need stills too. We need to budget some cash in for stills.
Yeah, but you gotta do it, man. You gotta just, get your feet wet and just like do the video part,
Word.
Dude, Patrick, I believe in you. Lighting is dope. You have to do the film, like incorporate film into that. Yeah. And do BTS work and then, see what you can get out of it.
I love the prep talk.
You don't even have to tell your client. You just have to tell yourself, like, I got to get this footage for me. Not for anybody else, but for me. And if it turns out good, you can say, hey, check out what I've shot. Maybe we can do a video on top of your photos next time around, and I can add you a little extra for it,
I love the prep talk. You're like even hyping me up, like, and I'm not even like doing videos or anything. I love how this is great. I love your little you're like hype friends, and I love that for you both. So that's great.
That's awesome. Hey, Ines, what do you do?
What I do? Oh, okay. So
yeah, what do you
what is I do? So I own a social media agency. So I worked for Mercedes-Benz. I'm originally from Germany. I worked for Mercedes-Benz in Germany. I actually have a degree in supply chain and logistics, which is like so random because I don't use any of that anymore. And I started working for Mercedes-Benz in Germany in their headquarters in the raw material purchasing department. I was literally buying liquid aluminum and steel, which is like probably the most unsexiest thing you can imagine. And then I moved to the US. and I started working for Mercedes-Benz Research and Development, which is like one of their like daughter subsidiary like companies. And I started out working very close as the assistant to one of the VPs, and then transitioned from there into internal communications, marketing, and social media roles. And I did that for about 4 years until June 2020 when I was laid off due to the pandemic. And then I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to be one of 5 million people applying for the same job, or I'm just going to try to do my own thing. And then honestly, I didn't even think about doing my own thing. But then 2 days after I was laid off, I get a call from a friend of a friend who was just promoted to be chief marketing officer for this like dogs wearables brand. And she was looking for somebody to do social media. And I was like, let's give this a shot. Like, I really have nothing else to lose. Like, what's the alternative? Being unemployed? Like, let's just go with this. So that's how I started out. And I don't even work with that client anymore. That was only like a half-year thing. We only worked together until end of last year. And yeah, so I've been doing this a little bit over a year now, and have honestly a lot of different clients in different industries, and I'm pretty booked. And yeah, that's it. That's what I do. In a nutshell, what is it?
Awesome, girl.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, in a nutshell, so what it is, so I basically kind of do 2 different things. I either advise, or either I act as chief marketing officer for some of the clients that I have. I have some that still want to do like hands-on their own stuff, so I'm just kind of like tracking them, making sure their KPIs stay like where they should be and what they should be posting, and keeping them updated on like new trends in social media and what I think they should be doing, and then they go and implement it themselves. And then I have other clients where they're like, I have no time to do anything, please do all of it. And then I'll go and like I create their content, I schedule it, and do all of that. So yeah, that is it what I do.
You're like a PR firm.
Well, kind of. Well, PR, I don't really know. So I have somebody that I work with that does PR when my clients need PR, but it's not really like my expertise itself, I would say.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm so glad for you. I'm excited for you. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
That is.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, I was like, well, I mean, I guess I should be more proud of myself than I am for like pulling this off in the midst of a pandemic. But yeah.
You should be.
Yeah, I should be.
That's like a great accomplishment.
Well, thank you. So, yeah, cool. Well, I want to say thank you, Isaac, for coming on here and sharing all your golden nuggets with us. This was really cool.
Yeah. Hopefully, just record. I mean, you recorded it, right?
Yes, we did record it. It's gonna go on the Spotify podcast for Lunify. We wanted to thank for sponsoring this club. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's this really cool app for freelancers to track all their finances. You should check it out. And yeah, so it's gonna go on there. Once it's live, I'll share the link with you, and then yeah, you can distribute it to your network.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my
Awesome.
goodness, this is nice.
Awesome, cool. Well then, thank you so much again, and I hope your drive back home will not take forever. And thanks for interrupting your day, and I know you're super busy for like doing this, so I really appreciate you for that.
No, I had this block for you.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. That's so nice of you. Awesome. You're the best. Cool. Well then, thank you, and thanks to everybody in the audience, and talk soon.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.